Hello and welcome to our special program Desert Storm, coming to you live from Dubai. And even though the surroundings around me might seem calm, but the adrenaline is still very high because it's been just less than 24 hours that India registered that fine win versus Pakistan. And one man whose adrenaline was really high is Harbhajan Singh, because even though he may have retired, but he still feels as part of the Indian team. He's been speaking to a lot of players of the Indian contingent. We'll get him talking about that as well. But before that, Pajuba, we want to talk about the big talking points. Hardik Pandya, Virat Kohli. Before that, I'll play a game with you on a scale of 1 to 10. You have to give points to the following things that I will ask you. Hardik Pandya's 10 being the maximum, and then you can look at that way in the descending order. So Hardik Pandya's batting, how many points will you give out of 10?
10 out of 10.
Bowling, his bowling?
11 out of 10.
Ah, that's interesting. I'm going to get him and pick his brains about Hardik's bowling. Ravindra Jadeja's all-round show and the fact that he was sent up the order. How many out of 10?
9.5 out of 10. I think it was a great move. And when Jaddu went to bat in, obviously situation was a bit tricky because India lost those 2 wickets, important ones. Rohit and Virat got out, and Jaddu was to send to attack, and then he had to change his game and play a proper sort of cricket, and he's done that beautifully and built that partnership with Hardik Pandya, and of course he was one of the reason India could win the game.
Okay, out of 10, Rohit Sharma's batting?
Rohit was a bit patchy, so his batting, otherwise 10 out of 10, but for the last game, yes, maybe 3, 4.
Virat's batting?
Virat's batting, he looked good. He looked okay with few shots. I think he just need little bit more time. Though his inning was a bit slow, but it's good to see him, trying to find that rhythm. And hopefully next game we'll see him in rhythm. And I think I'll still give him 6.
Okay. And finally, out of 10, the overall game, the excitement of the game?
10 out of 10. Beautiful. Everybody was like so excited about this game, and of course there was celebrations we have seen in India, visuals from India and also from Sharjah, Dubai. Unbelievable. Everybody was happy, excited that India won the game, but I think still a lot to do in this tournament because your main threat will be Afghanistan, so you got to be ready for them because they are one team. I feel they can give a run for their money to any team.
Those are interesting thoughts. We'll pick Harbhajan's brains a little more about Hardik Pandya's all-round show as well as the form of Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli. But before that, let's talk about the man of the moment. The lines said it all. Hardik Pandya finishes off in style, both with the bat and the ball. And this is how the man of the match performance came out. Hardik Pandya, an all-round show, picking up 3 wickets and then 30-odd not out with the bat, ensured that he was there right till the end, till the victory line was crossed. Harbhajan with me. Harbhajan, one thing I want to talk about. Of course, we'll talk about his batting and bowling, Hardik Pandya. But that swag, that Hardik Pandya swag is real. Huh?
Of course. It was so good to see the way he walked with so much of confidence, when he went into bat. And he's been doing that for, quite a while now, since he kind of understood his game, what he can bring on the table and, when it's required to play the situations. I think he was brilliant. And yes, that swag is special. That's like with Richard kind of confidence, and that walk shows that, he's a confident player. And, the way he finished game was absolutely brilliant for Team India. And, he's grown from here to there, within few years only, and it's so good to see his achievements, leading his team in the IPL, winning the title, and how calm he has become. That is something very big change I've seen in him. And as a batter, he was always a special batsman, who's got technique, who could play any situations, whether even Test cricket. I feel he's got the technique to play Test cricket. I've played one odd Ranji game with him where the ball was nipping around and seaming and bouncing, but he scored about 70 odd runs, and in those conditions I could sense that this guy have the potential to do well. And with his bowling, I think India is definitely very happy to have him, and he's a special player.
That's interesting actually. He's played a few test matches for India, but ever since that injury came, he's not come back to the test side. And that's exactly what we were talking to Harbhajan yesterday evening as well, that no matter what the situation, this is some sort of confidence he gives you. Even for someone like us sitting outside, when he walks into bat, you have a feeling that no, you're in the safe.
Confidence comes with hard work, and he have put a lot of hard work. I've seen him working in the gym. I've seen him working in the ground. You won't see him, standing and doing nothing. If he's in the ground, he must be doing something, whether taking catches or batting or bowling. He will be doing something. Or when you see him in the gym, he is someone who not just give 100%, maybe more than that. And he built those muscles, to bowl fast. He was very lean, and now you see he's a strong guy, who could bowl 140. And his batting ability was always special. And now he kind of understood his game, and this is his peak. I think India will benefit a lot. Hardik Pandya should remain fit. India have a great chance to win the cup. That's what I'm saying, because he is going to be your X factor even going forward in the World Cup.
So, the big news in India for the moment has been the demolition of the Twin Towers. But I tell you, India's Twin Towers, that is Hardik Pandya and Ravindra Jadeja, stitched together a very important partnership. And that actually demolished the Pakistan team. These are the two heroes for India, Ravindra Jadeja, Hardik Pandya, speaking after that win. So those were the two stars of the Indian team, and they came into bat when the Indian top order hadn't really fired. There was a situation where there were 89 runs on the board, 4 wickets had been lost, and that's when Hardik and Jadeja came together. So is the top 3 at the moment a cause for concern? Let's analyze the performance of India's top 3 and what then India would have to do in moving forward in the games ahead.
Once India's biggest strength is now one of the biggest concerns. Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul and Virat Kohli come across as the most threatening top order in world cricket. But with time, things have changed, and India now rely more on their middle order. Even against Pakistan in their opening game of the Asia Cup, they struggled to get going. First, KL Rahul out for a golden duck. Then Rohit was gone for an 18-ball 14. And finally, Virat out for a scratchy 34-ball 35.
Both of them got out to forgettable shots. You've got to say that. At that stage, those shots were not necessary. The asking rate was not 19 or 20 for them to try and attempt sixes at that stage. At that stage, what was needed was to keep going, get to 70, 80, and then maybe go for the big shots. So I think, that I think should be a learning. I could be totally wrong in reading the game. They might be thinking differently, that this is the way we are going to play. But that's for them. But it could have cost India the match.
Jadeja and Hardik Pandya had to dig deep to pull off a win in the last over thriller against Pakistan. The numbers for all three have dropped considerably in the last couple of years. In 2021, Rohit scored 424 runs from 11 innings at an average of over 38 and an impressive strike rate of close to 151. But this calendar year, he has managed just 302 runs from 14 innings, an average of just 23.23, and the strike rate has also dropped to 134.22. Virat's average has also come down to 23.20 this year compared to 74.75 in 2021. The strike rate at which he scored runs last year was 132.88, which has further dropped down to 119.58. KL Rahul's form has been under scanner for 2 years straight. 289 runs from 11 innings at an average of 28.90 and a strike rate of 130.76 in 2021. Rohit Sharma, ever since he took over as captain, has often spoken about the new T20 template that Team India intends to follow.
One thing that surprised me was normally when Virat Kohli reaches that stage, when he's batting at 33, 34, normally he doesn't take those chances. He never looked desperate, but now that he's not got runs behind him, so somehow maybe he looked little desperate that he was trying to go after the bowlers. That is not what Virat Kohli is, and I'm very sure he will analyze and he'll try and improve more and more. Same with Rohit Sharma.
India have had great success in T20s ever since they lost to Pakistan in the T20 World Cup last year. but a lot of it has to do with the success of the Indian bowlers and the middle order. Rohit, Virat, and KL Rahul are three of the biggest names in white ball cricket, and form cannot desert them for too long. Hopefully, with the T20 World Cup not too far away, they will soon find their mojo back. Sports Bureau, India Today.
Okay, you saw that analysis, you saw the numbers, Harbhajan Singh to even break them down for us. Bhaji, I mean, you know, there's one way of looking at that game is that the middle order fired, which is great for India. But the top three at the moment doesn't inspire confidence in most fans. Yes, a few runs came, but maybe not in the fluent style that we are so used to seeing these top batsmen. Would you be worried as an Indian fan with the form of the top?
No, I don't think we need to get too worried about it, because we know the quality of those three are totally different level altogether. You know, when you have Rohit Sharma scoring runs, Virat Kohli scoring runs, or KL Rahul scoring runs from the top, you won't need your middle order to fire then. You know, yes, it's good to see, you know, the middle order is ready to win games, even though if, you know, we don't get performances from the top. But yes, I know that, you know, these three top guys, they will come good. If not today, but tomorrow, because they are quality players. They don't know, they haven't forgotten, you know, how to bat. It's just that they are going through that phase where they're not finding the rhythm. It's about finding that rhythm, and next match against Hong Kong, that brings the opportunity. You just go out there, get that feeling in the middle, you know, facing, you know, those 50-60 balls and score those runs. You know, once you have score runs in the middle, that's the best you can do as an individual. So I think great opportunity for Rohit, KL, Virat Kohli to find their mojo, you know, in the next games, and I'm sure they're going to come good. They're champion players.
The reason I asked you that top three question is that if you look at this game, India of course won, very exciting game, but everything that could go wrong went wrong for Pakistan. One, they lost the toss. Secondly, the batting didn't fire at all, and you're not going to have very many games where the batting doesn't fire. Third, they dropped a few catches and their bowlers had some sort of cramp. So everything went wrong, yet they took India to the, you know, final over. The day these things start firing, do you think India would have to up their game a notch above going forward in the tournament?
Well, definitely. I think there is always, you know, a scope of improvement in everything. You know, whether you win a game or lose a game, you know, you always come back and see what you can do individually as a team. You can do better for us to get the right result. And I'm sure, you know, yes, India won the game, but yes, there was some time when the game wasn't really in India's hand, but of course those guys understood the condition and situations and then played according to the situation, and they won the game. And I'm sure, you know, there will be time, they'll be thinking about it, you know, what to improve, how to go about it in the next few games, and they'll come back with better thinking and they get their better results as well.
Better results, that's the key word. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a little secret now. Harbhajan Singh was to go back to India after this game, but he enjoyed the game so much. Yesterday he's saying, no, I want to see India play a bit more. That's what an India-Pakistan encounter does. That's what a close India-Pakistan encounter does. What that also means is that he'll be coming live from Dubai going forward in the Asia Cup on India Today. So do tune in every evening at 6:30 p.m. for our special show titled Desert Storm. For the moment, that's all that I have for you. Thanks so much for joining.